let's see how this works. Let's hit to battle. If you're just joining me, today we are testing out this live streaming feature where I play War Thunder and ramble on about aviation because I'm a flight instructor and I like talking about airplanes. All right, fight's on. Let's pick a low-level aircraft so I can warm up and start rambling about aviation. Flying Thatcher's F2A1. Yeah, okay. I'm watching it on my phone just to see, make sure that everything looks good and it all works. Yeah, cool. Hey, that's my stupid voice. All right, cool. All right, let's maintain good situational awareness. There's our wingman, Gabriel Rojas. All right, dude, got this. Now, in real-world aviation, we want to maintain good situational awareness. And remember that formation flying is only authorized if all pilots in the formation agree to fly in formation and are on the same page before we depart. Today, I'm going to let my wingman do most of the leading, and I'm just going to cover him. By the way, depending on what kind of airspace we're in, we have to be careful about how high we fly. Actually, it's more about terrain. If you're in a congested area, you want to be at least 1,000 feet above the highest obstacle in a 2,000-foot radius, so you don't crash into anything. And then in a non-congested area, oh, that sucks, I'm going to crash. In a non-congested area, like out in the woods, or out in the desert, you want to be 500 feet above the nearest obstacle. And in general, you want to fly at an altitude high enough to respond to an engine failure or an engine fire like I'm doing here. Speaking of engine fires, how do we fight an engine fire? We want to starve it, so mixture, idle cutoff, fuel surge valve off. Basically, you want to flow through and starve the fire of its fuel and oxygen. Run through your checklists. All right, off to a very poor start so far. But hey, we're talking about aviation, so hopefully we're learning something. Let's deploy the P-36G. Oh, I think I'm covering the chat. That's good, because sometimes people say bad things. Don't say bad things, guys. Okay, where's my wingman? I don't see him. There you are. So when we fly, like we said before, good situational awareness, we'll navigate using multiple methods of navigation. We track our position using multiple methods of navigation. One of those is pilotage, which is literally just looking outside and comparing your position with the map or with the chart. So while you're flying, you might look at roads, bodies of water, large mountains to determine your position. We'll get back to that idea here in a second. Okay, so going back to what I was saying, while you are flying, you should be using multiple forms of navigation, including pilotage, which is using your eyes to check your position against the map, using dead reckoning, which is navigation by math, calculating your fuel burn, time to climb, time to target, that kind of stuff. VOR navigation, which is very high frequency omnidirectional range, and then GPS as well. How embarrassing. can't hit a damn thing. Oh no. Yeah, we want to be careful and not shoot down our buddies, right? I'm reminded of that opening scene in Futurama. You stink, loser. That's fine. We're having a good time. Okay. So while we're here, let's take a look at our map. As we deploy, there should be a body of water to our 6, a river off our 9 o'clock, and it expands out. So while we fly, let's take a look and see what we see outside the cockpit to our map. So let's look left. There's that body of water. There's our airfield, that river that expands into a wider area. And then as we move further south, I assume this is south, the enemy airfield is to the west and to the north of this little body of water here, to the west of this river and to the north of this body of water. And again, we're doing that because we want to maintain good situational awareness. A good pilot should track his position as he flies using multiple forms of navigation. And I'll take out this guy here. Oh, something I just realized. Every time I fly, I always check in with my crews. Hey, how are you feeling right now? How are your shoulders? You notice that you're tense. Are you flying tight, or are you flying loose and relaxed? And I realize that because I'm doing a live stream, something I've never done before, I am flying super tense right now, flying very tight, and I am not flying smooth at all. So let's be mindful about our flying. Take a deep breath, relax, breathe into our seat, or sink into the seat, and remember, we should be flying nice and relaxed. At no point should you be feeling tense. In general aviation flying, of course. Getting shot down is another thing entirely. Ow, embarrassed. Okay, let's deploy the P-40s. All right, what else can we talk about? Let's see. Oh, how about our aero documents? Before we go fly, we want to check our documents and make sure that we are safe and legal to fly. And the aircraft has its own set of documents that must be on board the aircraft for it to be legal. We use the acronym ARROW, A-R-R-O-W, and that stands for Airworthiness, Registration, Radio Station License if you're flying international, Operating Limitations or Operating Handbook, and Weight and Balance. So anytime you fly, you want to make sure those documents are on board your aircraft. Now the Airworthiness Certificate lives inside the airplane. It comes off the line with the airplane, and it's basically always there. Your registration does expire, so you want to make sure that it is up to date and it is current. Operating limitations, that's going to tell you how your airplane flies, how it handles, the performance limitations, weight and balance, that kind of stuff, when you do your calculations. The weight and balance actually is like a piece of paper or a document that the mechanic will give you after they have weighed and balanced the aircraft. It'll tell you the center of gravity, its moment. And then we use that to calculate a weight and balance before every flight to make sure we're flying safe and the airplane is within the safe envelope. Now, since we're talking about it, the center of gravity really dictates the longitudinal stability of the airplane. So if your center of gravity, oh, dead stick. Well, real quick, engine failure. What are the ABCs of an engine failure? A, airspeed. We want to pitch for our best glide speed. B, find the best place to land, which is this road. Oh no, I'm dead. The best place to land is probably this road. And then C, break out your checklist and fight through the problem. So A, the ABCs of an engine failure. A, airspeed. B, best place to land. And C, checklist. Ooh. let's do the other P40. P40 E1 times it. Looking good. All right. But as we were saying, if your center of gravity is too far aft, it'll be really difficult to recover from a stall, and you could spin the aircraft. And if your center of gravity is too far forward, it might be really difficult to get your nose off the ground. So you want to load the airplane so that it is balanced and that it'll fly well. And of course, you don't want to overload the airplane. So when we do our weight and balance calculations, we care about the total weight of the aircraft and whether or not it is balanced. And so the equation we use to determine our weight and balance is WAM, weight times R equals a moment. And then you take the sum of the moments, the total moments, divided by the sum of the weights, or all the weight of the aircraft, the total weight. And that will give you a center of gravity from some reference point. Third place. Oh, that's terrible. All right, guys, this has been fun. Let me know what you think, whether or not this is worth doing again. I had fun. If you